Welcome back, Sebastian here. In time for my preview for the 2024 British Grand Prix. So starting with a look at last year's Grand Prix, which was actually, taking a look at the Wikipedia page, was actually quite an interesting Grand Prix with quite a few storylines. So, of course, like many Grand Prix last year, it was won by Max Verstappen. But joining on the podium were Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton. And this was really the start of McLaren's big resurgence in the second half of last season. Other notable moments were that this was Nick DeVries' last Formula One race, and of course, Kevin Magnussen's car caught fire, which led to that pivotal safety car, which allowed Hamilton to jump Oscar Piastri, jump George Russell, and get that final spot on the podium. You also had contact between Stroll and Gasly, which led to an Alpine double DNF and a 5-second penalty for Lance Stroll. So taking a look at the circuit itself, we're expected to have 52 laps on Sunday. This track itself, 5.891 kilometers, and the track record is, or the race lap record is a 1:27.097 set by Max Verstappen in 2020. This track is a tire killer, lots of high-speed corners, but there's also lots of good overtaking opportunities. In terms of best spots to make an overtake, starting from the beginning of the lap, Village is really your best shot, or otherwise known as turn 3. You can also make moves in Brooklands and Luffield. If you're very ambitious, you can make a move at Copse, but of course, if you're trying to overtake Max Verstappen there, it may not end so well. Then going into Stowe, sometimes you can make a move as well as Vale. But again, if you're Max Verstappen and you're being overtaken by Sebastian Vettel, it might not end so well there. So, moving on to the tires for this weekend. Soft C3, medium C2, and hard C1. So hardest 3 tires in the Pirelli range, not a surprise. There was rumors that there was going to be a special C0 tire for Silverstone. Seems like that's not going to be the case this year. Final thing to mention for the track itself, 2 DRS zones down the Wellington Straight and in the back straight between Beckett's and Stowe. Now taking a look at the schedule for this weekend, a mix of weather conditions it seems we'll have. For Friday, as of for the time of FP2, cloudy 19 degrees. Free practice for Formula 2 10 a.m., FP1 for Formula 1 12:30 p.m., qualifying for Formula 2 3:05 p.m., and then FP2 for Formula 1 is at 4 p.m. local time. Moving on to Saturday, the weather for qualifying is expected to be cloudy with maybe some sun and 15 degrees, so a bit cold. So with those tires, there's definitely going to be some teams that may struggle to heat those tires up. But that being said, with how many high-speed corners are, may not be too much of an issue. FP3, 11:30 in the morning. Formula 2 sprint race, 1:15 in the afternoon. Then qualifying, 3 p.m. local time. Moving on to Sunday, very good chance of rain for the Grand Prix. About 60% on the weather forecast. And the temperature is about 16 degrees, so a little bit pretty cool as well. Feature race, Formula 2 feature race, 9:55 in the morning, so quite early. Then Grand Prix is going to be at 3 p.m. sharp. Of course, with FIA, Formula 1 recent years, and rain, you never know when the Grand Prix may actually start, or heaven forbid we get the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix again. Now, before I make some predictions to close out this video, just taking a look at the best and worst qualifiers at this track using data from 2010 all the way till 2023. And this is in terms of what percentage of times they outqualified their teammate. In the best category, we have Norris at 100% outqualified his teammate every single year, on average 0.127 seconds. Number 2, Alonso, 92%. On average over half a second, so very, very big margin for Alonso. And number 3, Max Verstappen, 89%, and on average 0.353 seconds. In the worst category, not much of a surprise to see Lance Stroll at worst, 17%, only outqualified one teammate here, and that was Nico Hülkenberg in 2020, where Hülkenberg was basically brought in FP3. Otherwise, it would be a 0% for Stroll. And also for average, 0.44 seconds in the wrong way, in the positive there. Number 2, Ocon, also 17%, a bit of a surprise. On average, qualified by just over a tenth of a second. And then you have number 3, Sergio Perez, 25%, on average qualified 0.186 seconds. Now for predictions for this weekend, last time I actually did not predict a Max Verstappen win, and turns out he did not win the Grand Prix. So I guess, you can't actually predict Max Verstappen not to win. I really feel on race pace especially, it really feels like the Red Bull is not the best car anymore at certain tracks. We've seen several Grand Prix in the last 2 months or so where Lando Norris especially has basically been able to catch up to Verstappen, maybe not pass him, but at least catch up to him in the closing stages of the race, really suggesting that in terms of tire wear, they're not as good as they were last year. And because of how many high-speed corners we have, I'm actually going to predict a win for Lando Norris this weekend. I think just a combination of those two things, the fact that you can overtake really high tire wear, and the fact that there's lots of high-speed corners means I think he has a very good chance of winning his home Grand Prix for the first time ever. Joining him on the podium, I think I'm still going to have Verstappen P2. And joining him, I think it's really going to be a toss-up between the two Mercedes, Russell, Hamilton, and Oscar Piastri. The Ferraris have really struggled the last couple of weeks. I don't really expect them to do that great here, and I kind of expect them to be the third, fourth team like they've been the last couple of weeks. So really, I think for the last spot on the podium, I think for me it's really between Piastri and Russell. Hard to say. I think I'm going to just play it safe. I'm going to go with Piastri, given we think we probably have a better guess that the McLaren will probably be the stronger car of the two. So there's my predictions for the British Grand Prix this weekend. Lando Norris win, joined by Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri on the podium. Anyway, let me know your thoughts for your predictions for the weekend down in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.